Welcome to the winter of Weekend at Effys. This week, we have excitement ahead as we talk about Mormons and Scientologists, as we talk about getting to shows too late to fight Michael Jackson, as we talk about the beauty of Brooklyn, and I do many impressions like that of Wario and David Lynch, and then I attempt to Bill Nighy, but only the version from Pirates of the Caribbean. Weekendateffys.com to join the Patreon, to get early episodes, bonus content, and all sorts of fun stuff. And now, video footage. There will be video of everything going on. Early access to our Patreon subscribers. Hang out with us. Let's have a weekend. Oh, I like that. That's good. Live from our living room, and proof of another person is actually been here. Now they're going to say I hired you. I hired you because I was being called out because I'm alone in this room.
Yeah, I'm the guy from Fiverr.
You know, it's great because I have to give you $5 and then you just will sit in my living room and you give me access to your dog. So it looks like I love animals. Everybody knows the rumors going around, the blind gossip rumors going around is that I'm pretending to like dogs. It used to be that I'm pretending to be gay and then they saw my Spotify Wrapped. So that one's out the door because it's Kylie Minogue and Troye Sivan. And I don't want to talk about it anymore. But now the new rumor is I pretend to like animals. And I'm just actually a nightmare to deal with.
Well, I weirdly think that your podcast top listens kind of pushes you back over to straight again.
Yeah, I know. It's I'm in the top 2% of Mark Maron listeners. But here's the thing. And we're a very different podcast than What the Fuck. But I like that show because everyone on that show is successful at something, right? Like you don't just get to go on the show because you're not successful at something. But everyone has a different story of success. So in those moments where you're dealing with struggles or you're not feeling like you're accomplishing anything in your career as an entertainer or whatever you may be, you can look at this and say, oh, there's many different ways to reach the top of rock and roll. And I'm going to do it my way. Just like I don't think we're allowed to talk about Frank Sinatra anymore because I think we figured out he may have not been a good person. If you haven't noticed as well, I have a deep grumble in my voice this week because I spent the whole weekend screaming. Between having a match with Santana Jackson, being a Mormon, and then having an 8-person match with my friends where me and Manders just continued to slap each other's asses, I lost my voice. So we're regaining the voice. We're bringing the vocals back. And we're going to have a deep timbre to the voice today. Is it timbre? Is that the word?
Yeah.
I think in France they call it tombre. And then I've been working on my French so that I could tell Speedball and Maquito, vous êtes tous de les mignons. You're both cute. Because they had a battle of who was the cutest in the world. And I think Maquito won the battle of who was cutest in the world and also the match. So that kind of sets it. All right, I'm going to start. I've been thinking about the past, Peter. And I'm going to tell you a story in a second. But first, I want to give a congratulations to one of my very first entertainment employers, which is Darius Rucker.
Ooh.
He just got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Ooh.
And that is the first job in entertainment I ever had was interning for Hootie and the Blowfish and running their Twitter. And I think we've talked about that on the show before.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And running their online store. And I woke up today and I saw on Twitter he was getting his Hollywood Walk of Fame star. And I realized how many skills I took away from this job that were so beneficial. But that's not the past that I was speaking of. So before we even get into this weekend, I wanted to tell you a story because you told me a story about one of your friends possibly being at a bar and possibly getting the slang term for it is roofied.
Yes.
And luckily they were safe, which is beautiful. I'm glad they're okay. But I've gotten roofied before, twice. And I told you one of the stories not as interesting. I ended up in a bush in Disney World. At one of the resort hotels, and that's not the interesting.
You're lucky
story.
you didn't end up in It's a Small World with your clothes off.
You know, I did see that video and I quoted it as Saltburn 2023 because it gave me Saltburn vibes. We are going to be talking about a lot of films on the minisodes the video is active for our patrons. So if you're on weekendateffys.com, you can see that we're real and we're here, and you can see the video that I'm waving to right now as we set up our crispy HD. And so now I have 2 cameras on me. I have a TikTok camera on me, and I have the full shebang. Are you okay with being on camera?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You look lovely on the screen.
Thank you.
And last week's episode was interesting, and it's our first video episode we've ever done because you didn't have your own microphone. We had Alice and
No.
Catch here on the show, and someone texted me. I'll tell you, it was Trevor Outlaw texted me and said, I think she said period 1.3 times per minute the entire episode. And I just want to say period. That's us. I'm glad people enjoyed our friendly banter. I'm glad people enjoyed the special bond and friendship we have. And go to weekendateffys.com if you haven't. Sign up for the Patreon.
So
Support
Lucy is looking at me like she is stuck in this podcast recording with
Well,
us.
she's also not very happy because she was wearing her cute little Snoopy costume, Snoopy, and she started biting her Snoopy arms. So we had to just put her back. But I did get them matching bandanas. They're sort of matching. They're like complimentary bandanas, little cotton candy babies. And you just show me a baby picture of Bebop.
Yeah.
And he's cattle dog rat terrier, but mostly rat terrier.
Mm-hmm.
But he sits like a cattle dog in that picture, the little sloppy side sit that all the cattle dogs do. So it's in there, and the fur is colored that way, but he is still a little rat boy through and through.
He's so cute. He's just cuddled up behind you right now.
I think he got worn out this weekend. He went hiking with Cranberry because he came back Monday and was the tiredest little boy, to the point where I was like, do you feel okay, buddy? And he just kind of told me, I'm tired. Will you just cuddle with her? Will you just cuddle? Just be sweet. Just everybody be sweet. What is this bite? What is this yawn bite?
It was a bite and then a yawn. And
So this was a very eventful weekend, even though I was only gone for 2 days because I worked 3 different shows. But before we get there, this is the story about the time I got roofied the first time. Are you ready for this, Peter?
I'm ready.
Okay, so, and it kind of is fitting because this was the first time I ever dyed my hair blonde, was in this moment. So my first year of college, I like to say I turned 21 3 times because I had 2 fake IDs before I turned 21. And in this moment, I had a...
You do realize that saying I turned 21 3 times, it sounds like Julia Roberts narrating the beginning of a movie.
I turned 21. There's a new Julia Roberts movie coming out on Netflix, and I just want to say, fuck Julia Roberts.
Do you know what I almost did?
What? Oh, no. I just heard you say it before you said it. Please don't. It's not a gimmick. I can't.
So for the Patreon, we are doing the Fast and Furious movies, a watch through of the last 3 that have come out. We have only watched 1 so far.
Right.
And I have told you that to balance it out, I have my own series of 3 movies.
We're doing a trade.
An unofficial trilogy, if you will.
Okay.
And my first thought was all Julia Roberts movies.
You know, and I don't want to sound like I'm going through anything here, but if I had to watch more than 1 Julia Roberts movie, okay, I don't know if I'd make it to the show next week.
Well, okay, we'll do Ocean's 12 3 times. How about that?
No. She's in that one.
That's where she plays Julia
plays a girl.
Roberts.
You
Yeah.
look like Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts,
Yep.
actress who can only play one role, which is Julia Roberts. She doesn't know how to do. I can't. Julia Roberts is trash. Always has been. Always will be. She's the epitome of an actress who exists as an A-list Hollywood star who cannot actually act well and is just there as something people can point to and put in magazines. I'm sick of it. Okay, so I got roofied. I was 18, and I was planning a week-long trip to Las Vegas with my fake ID, but I was also broke, which is why I ended up for 4 years in college selling my plasma and seeing every Tyler Perry stage play on DVD, because in the plasma place they would just show them, and it was it was like I
You
learned
weren't
a lot.
getting paid to watch Tyler Perry.
No.
plays.
I was getting paid to give my blood, and there happened to be Tyler Perry stage plays on, not the movies, not even like Medea Goes to Jail, like the stage plays filmed and then put to DVD. Fantastic. Just really, I loved it. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, I've worked at moving companies since I was 15 in the summers. I used to hop on trucks with truckers. I've always been sketchy and get paid a lot to do that. So I thought, well, I'm here. I'm in Columbia going to college. I can probably use my laborial skills to figure this out and make some extra money so that I have more money for alcohol in Las Vegas. Okay. I'm not going to sound good in this story. All right. This isn't. So I put an ad on Craigslist and I said, well, I'll do anything. I got a lot of skills. I'll do whatever you need. And this older man reached out to me and he said, will you come organize and clean my garage? I was like, oh yeah, for sure. This is a great idea. So I pulled up, and at the time I was driving like a white Chevy Impala. And I pulled up to his house and I saw the garage and it was horrific. And there were like dead mouses in there. Mice, I guess is the plural.
Yeah.
And, he was, and this is early in my career where I'm figuring things out still. I'm a pretty artistic boy, as they say, or little Renaissance boy. But it's also the first time I dyed my hair blonde. So I've just got to say it. I weighed about 175 pounds and it was the twinkiest I've ever looked. Obviously, at 18, you look pretty twinky anyway. But I was blonde and emo-ish and played in bands and wore skinny jeans. And I looked like a snack for this older gentleman. Okay. So I don't blame it. You shouldn't roofie people, but also I looked pretty roofieable. So I proceed to clean this guy's whole garage. And he was going to pay me $50 and it took me 2 hours. And I'm really cleaning it. And then he brings me out. And he's like, do you want some sweet tea? And I was like, of course. It's very hot. It's South Carolina. I love sweet tea. And so I start to drink the sweet tea. And I only get about halfway through the glass before I'm cleaning a garage. I'm just moving stuff around. I knock the glass over. And then he's like, oh no. And he's like, I'll get you another glass. And proceeds to bring me another glass of sweet tea. And then I'm starting to think, wait a second. I was really quickly brought another glass of sweet tea. I said, I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to start just finishing this garage job, right? And so I keep cleaning and I start feeling pretty lightheaded. And I start feeling a little weird, but I'm sorry. I'm like, maybe it's just the fumes and the dust cleaning this garage. So I finish the task and I'm trying to call my friend. I won't call her out. You won't know who it is, but my friend Brittany is like, Brittany, you got to answer the phone. I got a question here. I don't know what's going on. And she's not answering. So then I call my other friend, Tori. I said, Tori, you got to answer the phone. I don't know what's going on. And she's not answering either. She's in class. And then he invites me inside to pay me. And he writes me a check for more than the original agreement. And then asks if I want to shower up and have some salmon with him. And I was like, oh, any excuse I can think of. Because I'm really, at this point, getting a little dizzy, not feeling great. So I've somehow come up with whatever excuse I have to. Luckily, I don't want to say I would kill a person, but I think I'm sizing him up. And I think I could have, with my bare hands, handled it and been like, I think I was roofied. So, and I'm also going, are you being paranoid? I don't know if you're being rude. I don't know. So I proceed to get back to my car and I call the last friend I can think of, who is the friend I'm visiting in Las Vegas, my good friend Robert. And I said, Robert, I got a question for you. I think I got roofied. And instead of being like, oh, you're so silly, Robert was like, give me the symptoms. I was like, well, he gave me sweet tea and he invited me to his house. I started feeling really lightheaded and dizzy and everything's kind of spinning right now. And he goes, how far are you from your house? And I was like, oh, I'm like 2 miles from the dorm. And he said, okay, well, you've got about 20 minutes before you're really cooked. So you need to get back to that dorm. So I was like, oh, and he's like, it sounds like you got roofied. And I was like, okay. So I get back to the dorm. And at this time I am dorm mates, suite mates with the wonderful Pryors, who does all of my design work, who I've known since college, since I was 18. I just harassed him today about some more design work I need done. And I said, hey, I think I got roofied. And I remember directly, he's playing World of Warcraft on his computer.
Of course.
And he's known me for a few months. This is the beginning of second semester, the first year. So he's known me 6 months and he knows I'm kind of I'm a rowdy guy. Okay. So he's not really thinking this out. And then I proceed to go into my dorm room and lay in the bed. And I woke up 18 hours later.
Holy shit.
And I definitely got roofied and had to he was like, I thought you were kidding. And then you just didn't wake up for a day. And I was like, yeah, I could have been in real trouble. And he was like, maybe you shouldn't put Craigslist ads up where you'll just go to strangers' houses while you look like this. So that's the story of the first time I ever got roofied. Maybe we'll talk about the second time another time. I don't, why men, but it's always been men. Women are not out here roofing anyone. Women are getting roofied, and gay men are getting roofied by men. Men are doing the roofing. We have to stop roofing people. But it's also, I wish they'd come up with a better name for it, like drugging someone. Like I wish they would just call it that, because it makes me think of Hook, with Robin Williams.
Like, is it supposed to be like kind of cutesy, like
Rufio? That's all I can think about when I think about roofies.
Because I thought it was kind of like a silly thing, like you take a roofie and it's because you end up on the roof.
I think you end up on the floor.
I think you do end up on the floor. They should
on
call
the
them
floor.
flories.
Yeah, he really wanted me to shower in his house though, and that's when I realized, like, you might be onto something, kid. I think things are not going well. So yeah, I've survived. It's now 15 years later, and I still think roofing is bad, but I have taken getting roofied out of the equation. Unless somebody roofies my Diet Coke, which I think is harder to do. I think you would taste it in Diet Coke. I think the alcohol sort of cuts into, a little bit of that. I think I'm pretty unroofiable nowadays. Thank God. But also I'm outside of, like, who's going to want to roofie me? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe they would. Oh, thank God for video. Why are y'all being weird? Be sweet, baby. Your friends. Don't. Hey, I see you with your little nose. You be sweet.
All right, we have some puppy drama happening.
You're going to get it. Hey. Okay.
Aren't you guys glad you can see the
Aren't
puppy
you glad
drama
you're getting the video of the puppy
happening now?
drama? This is good. Okay,
we
whatever.
can do visual bits now.
Yeah.
He's doing a bit. I'm not going to describe it because there's video. It's a bit.
It's a bit.
It's
a
really
video
funny.
bit.
It's so funny.
You only get that if you see the video. These will be early. She's pissed. These will be early posted to the Patreon for our Cranddaddy subscribers at the top, and then they will come out to the public later on. But if you want early access to things, which who doesn't?
She is so upset right now.
She's not very happy. He took her spot and her bone. You cuddle with me. Just cuddle with me. It'll be fine. Oh, Petár.
Yes.
I had a big weekend, and you know what? I think you had a transformative weekend and you don't even know, because I think it helped you decide the next path of your life, and that it's not going to be this exact path that you're on now. And I think that's beautiful.
Yes.
Like sometimes seeing you get fired up about stuff, I know you're frustrated, but I know it forces you into positions where you're like, I'm not going to keep doing the same thing. And it gets me so excited. So I think you have positive things ahead. And I'm saying it here so you can look back on this as a diary. This is great for the people listening and watching us that do so every week. We're so grateful. But I know when in like 6 years, when I have dementia and I'm in a wheelchair and you're having to push me around the Comic-Cons and I wave at everyone and you go, he's not well. I'll have this to kind of jog my memory.
Right.
And I can do what my grandpa did and say that the sexy ghost nurse is visiting him at night. All right, different story, different day. This weekend, I did 3 shows in the Northeast. I wrestled in Massachusetts for Rad Pro Wrestling. I wrestled in Connecticut for GCW. And I wrestled in Brooklyn for GCW. And I accomplished all of this in a very short period of time. Now, going to the North, I was expecting... She's grumbling at me. I was expecting it to be very cold, right? I've got concerns for the rest of the world. And this is going to lead to a point I'm making. Humans may have fucked the earth up.
Because, oh, really?
Really?
I haven't heard anything about this.
And I only have, this is only my personal experience, but I went to Denver in the middle of winter and it was 64 degrees. And then I went this weekend to Massachusetts and Connecticut and New York, and it was, I brought the wrong clothes again because it was not that cold. It was like slightly cold when the sun came down, but it was not winter by any means. And I guess January, February is a little more wintry, but usually like Christmas in the Northeast, it should be pretty cold. It should be frigid.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing for anyone right now. So I made my way to Boston, Massachusetts, before being driven down to another city in Massachusetts. Here's the thing. I don't know the names of these towns. I know the airports I go into, and that's about it. But this booking came a little last second because originally I was not booked on the show. They had some people that had some issues and had to drop off. And I said, I can do it. I can be there. And I'm going to be, in 2 hours down the road that night. I'll do the day show, thinking the day show's at like 1 p.m. and I'm going to be there till like 4. And then I'm going to go to the GCW show. We'll get to that. So I landed in Boston the same time as one of my, he doesn't know this, but one of my early mentors in independent wrestling. And I really don't want to call him out, but I have to bring a story up. This is Colt Cabana. Now, Colt Cabana now has a TV contract. He's signed. He's been doing a lot of great stuff on AEW and Ring of Honor. I love Colt Cabana. Some people are like, he was an indie guy. Does that make you a sellout? Let me tell you something. This guy was the king of the indies for so long. There are documentaries he put out about how great the indies were. I don't mind. She's fine. And he has accomplished everything he needs to accomplish in the indies. I think it's great. Get the money, perform in front of a bigger crowd, be on TV. You're phenomenal. But this is incredible. This is the best case scenario for us having video. I think you just have to live with it. Bebop, you might have to go over there with Petár. It looks like Lucy has chosen her side. She's choosing me. Okay? She's choosing me. Lucy wants to hang out with me. It's fine. I get it. She tried to eat my peach cobbler last night. Yeah, I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, I've eaten healthy chicken. I've eaten some beef. I cooked some steak. How hard is this cut going to be as I ate a half of an egg custard pie by myself? I think if I cut the egg custard pie, I'll be okay. Back to Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana's the best. We landed at the same time. And I'm going to bring up one issue.
Didn't we meet him in Chicago? Or I met him in Chicago?
It's very likely, yes, at the
Okay.
WrestleCade thing. And he had just gotten married. And we talked
That's
about
right.
We talked about some other things that were going on in Chicago that legally I'm not going to bring up. But he seemed to be in a pretty good mood in Chicago. He's from Chicago. He also had one of the best wrestling podcasts of all time, The Art of Wrestling, where he would interview wrestlers of all types. And it was the, kind of the what the fuck of wrestling world. I never got to be on it in that capacity. I did a short with him at the beginning of COVID where I fucked up the audio. So I have a great record here. And one of the very few wrestlers who has his own what the fuck episode with Mark Maron. So I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jealous of Colt Cabana. But way back in the day at Fest Wrestling, Colt Cabana asked to use my credit card swiper, and I never got it back. All right? And I think he needed it more than me at the time, and it's no judgment, but an elephant never forgets. And I'm just saying he has my credit card swiper from Fest from 2017. And, it's fine. We set up merch next to each other. Here's what I'm talking about, why we fucked up the earth. I made a bet with Colt Cabana. We were riding in the car. It was about an hour and a half drive from the airport to the venue we were going to, north of Boston, didn't realize. I said, Colt, I think by the year, what's 10 years from now? 12 years. I said 12 years. 2035.
Okay.
We will not have enough fresh water left in the world for me to be able to take a bath comfortably. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I think within the next decade, we're going to enter the drought water wars. Nestle is buying up all the water supplies. The glaciers are melting. I don't think we're going to have fresh water. I think it's going to be the next great problem. I was basically saying I love being an entertainer, but when the great drought wars start, I'm ready to go underground and Mad Max this shit. And he bet me on a handshake $100 that there will be enough fresh water left in 2035 for us to be able to take a bath. And I bet him there will not. And either way, here's the problem. If there is enough water to take a bath, I'll have to give Colt Cabana $100, and I will do so with joy in my heart. And if there's not enough water to take a bath, we may both be dead. So I don't think if I get my $100, it's going to help me very much anyway. And that may only give me half a bottle of Nestle at that point. we're only calling it Nestle in the year 2035 because of their ownership over public property of water. And he made a great point, which was that it rains and water comes out of the sky. And I made a great point in that we may be polluting the earth.
Yeah, ever hear of acid rain?
Yeah. And it's not the good kind of acid.
No.
This is the kind that burns through your skin and makes your scalp hurt. If it was that kind of acid rain, I think we'd be in a better place.
Well, speaking of, you've had, there's been some controversies this week as far as water supply goes anyway, and whether or not promoters should be providing water in the back. Just want to point out that I believe the CDC has come out and said that there are forever chemicals in the United States water supply, and no one should be drinking from the tap ever.
Oh, okay.
So we need that bottled water just in general anyway.
I will say this. There are occasions where water is in difficult supply in American locker rooms. And I want to say that Matt Cardona, and I tweeted about this, listen, is he kind of a goofball? I know we were feuding we were trying to make a podcast feud last week, which in context, I said on purpose, like, let's feud with a podcast. And then you clipped it and they were like, what did we do? And I was like, it's just a bit. Like, calm down, boys.
It's really funny that it's been post after post of like calling people out. And then someone was like, yeah, I don't buy toys from, and they're like, no, this isn't a mob that we're starting.
No. Okay, let's be honest. Matt Cardona has made me a lot of money, figure money. Okay. Now, he didn't make the new figures, but he got me the contact of the person who was making the new figures. He did make me the major bendies.
He hand makes all of them himself.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's like, you'd think Santa would have some elves, but he didn't know that you could
just
hire
Matt Cardona.
Yeah, he's just like, I've got hundreds more to make right now. So he's made me a lot of money. I feuded with him and I got mega over because it opened me up to a whole new audience. And all the locker rooms I work with him in, there are better amenities. And he is the first and foremost to be like, this is unacceptable. I'm a superstar. Everyone should get fair treatment here. So like, I can't really be rude to Matt Cardona anymore because he shows up and he holds these people accountable to get us what we need. And I want to say there has been water where I am most of the time because I think that's how I never got COVID. Now, the complaint from some of the Facebook promoters who they can't afford my fee anyway. Like if you're a promoter who spends time on Facebook, you probably are paying all your guys nothing to $40. This isn't going to slide with getting Effy out of the house. I would just drink everyone's half-drinking water bottles that they leave around to make sure that I was building up, what is it, like herd immunity?
Yeah.
And so I would just drink everyone's germ water and then I wouldn't get COVID. And I'm not like, oh, that's exactly why I didn't get COVID because I wore my mask sometimes. But I think drinking everyone's germ water, number one, I'm not opening new bottles. And number two, I have the germs of everyone inside me. It's like going to a party and you make out with everyone and then you have everyone's germs.
Yeah, but we all knew people that would go to parties in high school and do that, and then they would get mono. I think part of your cockroach genetics are at play here.
Yeah, I'll quote the amazing Dark Sheik. I'm pretty sure you're immortal. And not in it's not like a godly way. It's just sort of like I don't think you can kill that one. It's also why I have a cockroach next to my penis.
It's
because
you're like Rasputin. You have Rasputin DNA.
Yeah. I've been quoted as saying, I think you'd have to stab me quite a few times for me to stay down. And I'd like to test that theory out one day, but not more than once, I think it would take 5 or 6 stabbings to keep me down like 100%. Where did Bebop go?
I think he's in my room.
Bebop, come back.
Oh, cute little guy.
I didn't know where that O was going to go. It sounded concerned for a moment. Bobby, come hang out with us. Come here. You want to cuddle with me? I'm going to acknowledge the dogs more because now that we have the video, it's like kind of plays
He was
in.
doing some heater worship in there.
He does sit on the heater. He came out this morning and just sat on the heater with his little hands.
Yeah.
I also think today was the first time I've ever turned the heater on. Every time I come home and the heat's on, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this for Peter. because I am hot all the time.
Oh yeah.
I'm a hot boy. I'm sweating through my Rush shirt right now, my Popper shirt. But you know what? It's fine with me. I love it. Bring on the heat. I'll live. Also,
There are, just to balance it out, there are moments where I go, it's a little cold. I'm gonna leave it
Aw.
off because I think he's hot.
aw.
So there's
Look at us.
consideration going
I
back and
yeah,
forth.
I really think that's why this works with us is, are either of us, the most like together people in the world? No offense, no offense to either of us. No, but we do have consideration for one another, and I think that makes things work to a point. Like I told you today, I was like, I took the trash to the street, and you were like, yes. So it works. We're thinking of each other, not all the time, but enough to where it's comfortable, and we're willing to compromise on temperature a little bit. It's my fault I run hot. Look at me. I'm 400 pounds of beef.
Yeah.
Like I can't, I can't help that I burn a lot of energy. I'm expending energy. So we go to this show in Massachusetts. Me and Cole Cabana are about the first people there. The ring hasn't even been set up yet. But this is a very special show because it's for Rad Pro Wrestling, and it takes place in an alternate universe that exists in the year 1994. Okay? So this does not exist in the modern times, and I do not exist as Effy. And I was asked to come in and do a character that I was not informed of until the Wednesday before. And he said, would you play Normand the Mormon? He didn't describe him as a Mormon. He described him as a door-to-door proselytizer. Okay? And he said, and the big rule for Normand is he hates kissing. He absolutely will not have kissing. And I said, this is my dream. This is my dream scenario, which we're going to talk about on the mini-sode starring Nicolas Cage.
Did you hear the news with him this week?
No.
So his son showed him Breaking Bad for the first time.
Okay.
And he fell in love with Breaking Bad so much that he is quitting movie acting and is moving into TV roles. He says he's got maybe 2 or 3 movies left, and then he's switching over to TV.
I just got to say that like the past 5-year run of Nicolas Cage is kind of untouchable.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Mandy to Pig, I think you're really going to like Dream Scenario.
I'm excited.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Like Cage is just like,
yeah.
he's so loose. He's so good at acting. It's like when you watch a veteran wrestler and they're kind of like, they're backstage and they don't really want to talk to everybody. And they're real just like, they seem a little out of it and they seem like maybe they're past their prime. And then they hit the ring and you go, oh my fucking God, this guy knows what he's doing. Like you see him walking around in trench coats with too many rings on, looking like Benny Safdie in The Curse. And you're like, I don't know, maybe this dude's cooked. And then you watch the film and you go, it is the same guy who made Leaving Las Vegas. He's right there. He's in it. And I can still lose him in roles. He hasn't become like a Hollywood star in the point where I'm like, I always know it's Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? But like in Dream Scenario, he was the most regular looking middle-aged bald man with a beard.
Brad Pitt?
No, Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
Like I can lose him in roles still.
You didn't lose Brad Pitt and Benjamin Button?
You know what? Someone else reached out to me and they said, I'm so glad you said something. I'm so glad someone was brave enough to say something because fuck that gross little old man baby. All right? If there's one thing about me, I will stick to my guns on certain things. And one of those things is I will watch Benjamin Button with you again, but I will sit over here and I'll go, ugh.
I don't know if I would describe your stance on Benjamin Button as brave, but
okay, courageous then. I'll say, fuck that little old man baby, okay? And you may be saying to me, oh, but the old man baby becomes a regular baby at the end. Okay, well, that's 100-year-old baby. I'll kick that fucking baby. All right? You can't kick a regular baby because it's too young to understand.
Yeah.
That's a 100-year-old baby. I will punt that fucking baby right out of Kate Blanchett's arms. Okay? Lucy agrees. And or loves. Do you love the old man baby,
no,
Lucy?
this is fully against. Yeah, she is looking angry at me right now.
Yeah, fuck that old man baby. We hate that old man baby. We love cute little babies like Lucy. Oh, yeah. She's just a cute little girl. So, Rad Pro Wrestling takes place in 1994. And I am playing a religious zealot. Now, Colt Cabana, his flight takes off at 6:30 p.m. and we're an hour away from the airport. So, he goes on really early. I go on 5th or 6th in the show. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is this show started at 5. and the GCW show starts at 8 and it's 2 hours away. So I'm on a real tight timeline. Maybe it started at 4. There was a tight timeline. So the match I'm having is with someone who is a very creative mind in wrestling, Jay George, who portrays a movie director, producer, creator of cinema visions. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Lucifer. Thank you.
She was telling me the other day she's got this great idea for a podcast.
Weekend at Puppies?
Yeah.
I think it's going to come out sooner rather than later. We'll just smear a little peanut butter on the mic.
Okay.
She wants to sit exclusively with you. Okay. Well, Jay George is portraying a character here, and I hate to kill the kayfabe of this because, obviously we want it to exist in its own world, but this is a kayfabe breaking podcast, okay? That's what it is. It's a kayfabe breaker. Jay George is portraying a character named Esteban, I can't remember his last name, who is also a movie director. And so Norman the Mormon gets in the ring, and Esteban says, there's something really special about you. I want to make a movie with you. And I said, okay, but I got some rules as an actor. There's not going to be any kissing. And I don't want to spoil all this for you, but I got to say, we told cinema stories in the ring, Norman the Mormon and Jay George, and everybody said we expected him to be a mean religious zealot. But you know what I did? I went and leaned right into Youth Pastor Effy, and I was so kind and sweet, and I just put on a little Southern drawl, and I said, there's nothing I hate worse than kissing. I love these people. I love a little bit of fellowship. I'm glad we've all come together. I'm glad I have a new platform to tell people about the spirit that changed my life, but I will not have any kissing in this match. Now, I guess you can probably guess where this goes. I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say Norman got what he didn't and did want. Yeah, you better believe it. Now, I do want to note, I was thinking today, and this is a visual component that I'm not even going to show on the video, but the fact that this picture right here that I'm showing you and this picture were taken within 4 hours of each other, I have range, okay? I have deep range. And everyone has said, Norman the Mormon looks disgusting and horrible. And I want you to know, that's the fucking point, okay? He said, grease that hair up as much as you can, comb it with a middle part, put on your Mormon shirt, which, now you may be wondering, how'd you put that Mormon outfit together? We did a Mormon bit a few years ago for Halloween, me and AJ, and people were not happy that we were portraying Mormon elders who also fucked. AJ even wore a bike helmet for this.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was one of our first Halloweens with him living with me, and he was like, we're going to hell. And I was like, no, we're going to Mormon heaven, which is where you become Jesus of another planet. It's great. I love it. And our wives will have to go to the planet that we're sent to be Jesus.
Yep.
Pretty fun stuff being a Mormon, I'm finding out. Seems like Scientology's falling apart, speaking of fake religions.
Oh, what, is there something new happening?
Travolta is leaving the church, and they're saying Tom Cruise.
Shit.
Tom Cruise is very disillusioned with David Miscavige and may make some changes or follow suit.
Huh.
But I got to say this, as I become more popular in my entertainment field, I'm starting to understand Scientology more, okay? I've read Dianetics, and I'm not saying the book, the religion, any of it makes any sense. You can probably point to this in a few years, and I'm like, no, this is my life now. I am a Scientologist. You can say, we know you're lying, Effy, because I was thinking about it, and I realized if I'm Tom Cruise, right, and I'm like, maybe I'm feeling it one day, and I don't want my assistant to do everything for me, and I want to go to, and I'm going to localize this to the West Coast. I want to go to Ralph's and just get some fresh fruit and some deli meat, right? I'm Tom Cruise.
Oh, you are Hollywood Effy already. Ralph's?
I love Ralph's. They do this. They cut their mango a certain way where like it feels fresher on the West Coast. I don't know. So I'm leaving In and Out with some fries. I don't want to have the beef, right now. And I'm Tom Cruise and I'm going to Ralph's and I'm shopping and people are coming up to me because I'm the most famous Hollywood movie star of the past 50 years. I'm Tom fucking Cruise, okay? I do all my own stunts. I'm so lit. All my movies are critically acclaimed. And maybe somebody's coming up and they're like, Tom Cruise, what was it like being in the film Cocktail? Tom Cruise, what was it like being in 8 different Mission Impossible movies? Tom Cruise, when you filmed The Last Samurai, was it hard to keep up with that man bun? And at a certain point, you go, this is great. I really appreciate that people love my work, love my art, that it's touched them, but I got to make them stop talking to me. And that's where Scientology comes in. And you go, yeah, I'm so happy you're here. Have you guys thought about joining Scientology? And now you're saying, but doesn't he give them all that money? Yes, it's a small price to pay for having a way to get out of a conversation when you're Tom Cruise. When you're Tom Cruise and you're at the Ralphs and people are giving you all the love is great. Compliments are great. You got to have a way out. And then you go, I'm a level double alpha, zero clear in Scientology. And I think it's something that could help with your life too. And they're like, oh my God, we have to go actually. It's good to see you. We're going to leave this Ralph's right now and leave you alone. It's the only way out when you have that much fame.
This is like that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where
Where's the MAGA hat?
Yeah.
It's the MAGA hat of religions. And it's so absurd that if you start talking with someone about it, the only thing you can really talk about is like, L. Ron Hubbard said he was going to make a fake religion. Like there's people don't even understand. They're not happy that the Lord Xenu shit got out. Allegedly, because they're like, no, Scientology is about like self-growth and removing the thetans. And okay, yeah, you guys weren't supposed to know about that stuff, because the more info that leaks about Scientology, the more it seems even more absurd.
Yeah. And
then you start to pity the people because you're like, oh, you're $500,000 deep when you learn about Lord Xenu, and they're thinking to themselves, I'd pay $1 million if I could get out of every conversation. And if you think I believe in an intergalactic trillion-year-old ancient deity that has plugged me with volcanic thetans that forces me to be sick, like the second you yell out psychology isn't real, the thetans have controlled you, nobody's taking that conversation any further.
Yeah.
So good on you, Tom Cruise. Now, how did I get... Oh, we were talking about Mormons. Yeah, I found these golden tablets, but you can't see them. They'll burn your eyes. Jesus came to Missouri and he helped indigenous people. That makes it sound a lot better when you send the indigenous people away and take all of their land. If you say that Jesus gave them a chance, it's a way to make white people feel less white guilt, when in reality, they should feel all of it.
I think Lucy did get into some of your cuts. She's had food particles on her head since yesterday.
She was up on that table. I didn't think she got into it because I ate the rest of it anyway.
She's a pretty sneaky baby.
Yeah, I believe it.
Not as sneaky as Bobber over here,
but
though.
like you said, they're trading secrets.
They are.
They are both figure. His mastery of the high whine sound since living with Lucy has been incredible. Last night he was doing it so soft, but right up against my ear, going, because I wouldn't let him under the covers. And I was like, I guess you're coming in. And I was like, I got fucking duped. I got duped, man. You're a duper and a dumper. But that's already been handled today. Okay? I did also buy him freeze-dried chicken feet. And it's horrible to watch him eat them. But he loves them. And he whines to get his chicken feet. You can't give him too many chicken feet. But I think it's better than my other plan, which was... to get him a full duck's head. I did that with Cranberry one time. I think she got a little sick eating the duck brains, the freeze-dried duck brains.
Oh.
I don't know. They also sell duck feet on Amazon. A little more expensive than the chicken feet, though. I don't know. Bebop's not going vegan anytime soon.
Little webbed duck feet?
Yes. And they eat the webs. Yeah. I don't know. We might share a chicken foot later. We might just... It's safe for... I think it's safe. Maybe dip it in a little hoisin sauce.
Ugh.
I love chicken feet, not the freeze dried ones, but like a real parboiled chicken foot. I'm into. I think you can deep fry them too. You don't eat the bones though, just the cartilage. I've gotten off task.
Yeah.
Norman the Mormon, legendary character. But as soon as I finished the match, my new friend Steve, who is actually he holds the world record for. Some type of backflipping on a pogo stick, I learned.
What?
Yeah, he holds some kind of world record about backflipping on a pogo stick. Steve, I'm sorry I forgot your last name, but I thought that was interesting. So we get in the car, rush my bags to the car. I did merch earlier with Colt. We had a good time. It's the first time I've done merch dressed as a Mormon, and it was successfully done. And I kept going, I'm sorry you're taking a picture with me like this. And they were like, no, we love it. This is great. We got in the car, and it said arrival 8:08 p.m. Now, I don't want to say Brett does this on purpose, but I reached out to Brett and I said, hey, the flight split's going to be cheaper now, for your portion of this, but I'm double shotting. So if you could just put us a little later in the card, that'd be really helpful. He was like, cool. And so then I got in the car and I said, hey, what match are we? And he said, you're match 4, which I'm getting there 10 minutes after the show begins. I haven't put a match together yet. And it's me and Santana Jackson. Santana Jackson has been getting over and over and over. I want it to be very good. And I went, okay, fuck. And so Steve was like, don't you worry. And he ended up cutting a little time off. So I got there right before the bell time. And I basically came in and I was like, Santana, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a sick match. And then we went out match 4 and we had a sick match. It was awesome. Now, I've wrestled Santana Jackson before. And previously, I think we even talked about it on the show. We did a finish based on when a drunk man in Las Vegas attacked him when he was working the Fremont Street, like as a street performer.
Yeah.
And he had to choke him out with a judo throw. And we recreated that as the finish the last time we had a match. This time we were a little more succinct and it made more sense to a regular audience. But me and Santana knew that finish was sick because it's based on real life and that TikTok went over. But
didn't you do a show with him, Fremont Street, like out on the street, and didn't like Janela get like seriously injured or something?
No, Drew Parker was seriously injured on that show where his leg was split open by a piece of glass. But Janela and Santana had a match where they brought out Baby Blanket and they threw Baby Blanket off the balcony through a table through Janela. Janela went through the table after catching the Baby Blanket that Michael Jackson threw off the balcony, which was incredible. I love being able to fuck with real life concepts and having Santana Jackson there. Now, people don't even know this, and they should. Santana Jackson wrestles as Santana Jackson, but he also does a full Vegas show as a Michael Jackson impersonator. So he has 2 jobs where he is Michael Jackson, and both of them are sick. But we had an incredible match, but I made a mistake by pulling off the wolf mask from Thriller, and I put it on my head, and I transformed into a real life werewolf. I could feel the blood of the wolf flowing through me. I tried to attack him multiple times and it didn't work, but I did in turn, when he went for the moonwalk DDT, the mask came off again. I thought I would never be a regular boy again, but the mask came off. And then I was able to conquer Santana Jackson in this moment in Hartford, Connecticut, after arriving and then running straight to the ring, basically. I was like, what match is on? They're like, match 2. And I was like, duh. And they were like, you're on deck. And I was like, duh. And then I came out cool as a cucumber. Someone said, watching my entrance to Big Gay Brunch, watching my entrance to Goodbye Yellow Brick Road gave off casual big dick energy. And I just want to say, I'm glad I can give that off.
Casual big dick energy.
They said it was casual big dick energy, and I was feeling it. The people of Hartford, fantastic.
CBD? That really sounds
CBD?
like that. Ew.
I also want to say, I'm jumping ahead, but to my probation officer, you still have not sent my travel pass yet. Okay. I took the drug test on time, passed the drug test. I gave you all the dates, contacts, addresses, and travel information. You still have not sent, I just want this on public record. You still have not sent my travel pass. It took you 17 days to send it last month. I went to like 8 different places before you even sent the travel pass. I can't slow down doing my work, but you are being irresponsible. And there will be a public inquest into this if it continues. Okay? That's all I got to say for right now. And I'm not saying you can't get better, but if I'm going to put in the work, you got to put in the work too. After Hartford, we stayed in the hotel. Now, there were many versions of Effy this weekend. And this was my favorite one, which is getting me excited about having a niece, which I think she's going to be born in March if things go to plan. I'll have to have you go back and edit this so people aren't traumatized if something happens. I'm going to have a niece come March. Very excited. And the next day, me and Sawyer Rack rode to Brooklyn with the ring truck crew with Chad. And Chad has a son. And me and Sawyer and Chad's son sat in the back. And I went into full gunkle mode with little man, and it was awesome. We chilled. We watched TikTok videos, which I just want to say the kids are not okay. The TikToks that children are watching.
Now you're cursed.
Now, yes. Yeah. It's a TikTok trend. When he goes in the room and he goes, what did you want to show me? After the dad gives him the whole speech. It's the deepest Nathan Fielder, I have no clue what's going on What a moment. You saw Benny Safdie covered in silver, right?
Yes.
So good. He's a little statue. Um, I chilled the whole time. We played games on my phone. He did I thought it was like a meme, but he was like, what games do you have on your phone? And I was like, oh, we got games. We ate donuts together.
What games do you have on your phone?
Oh, I got a lot of games on my phone. I sit in airports for hours at a time. All right. Me and Blake Christian have been playing, what is this game called? Now I don't want to roast him too hard. Royal Match, okay? I'm only on level 500 something. He's on level like 1800 on Royal Match, and he's dominating me. And I always check in when I see him. I go, what level are you on now? Because I play a lot of mobile games when I'm waiting around airports. I have two options in airports, right? Because look at me, I'm a beef boy. I'm either going to go eat expensive food.
For real? Like, this, okay. Y'all, if you Google Royal Match, it's one of those little like Twitter game ad thingies that comes up where they go, the little reader's note, like to give context, the game does not actually look like this.
Okay, then hold on, but the game is still fun. Let's talk about Angry Birds Dream Blast, of which I'm on level. You ready for this? This is disgusting. Oh, I just got new prizes. Oh, I might have to play for a little while. Level 5,179. Think about that for a second. Candy Crush and Candy Crush Soda Saga. I've got both of those. Best Fiends. You know about Best Fiends? Here's the thing. What am I going to do? I'm going to carry my Switch around and have to take it out of my bag every time I go through security? No way. You got to you take your electronics out separately. I'm not doing that every time. I'm just going to play mobile games on my phone. Okay. Now, I will say also, Knights of the Old Republic, I have on my phone. Lego Star Wars, I have on my phone.
They canceled the remaster or the remake.
Why? What?
Yep.
Oh, you can get both of them right now on the Switch store on sale. Yeah, I play a lot of shitty mobile games, which is something I have in common with children because their parents just give them the phone and they go, just play it. Just play these games. And so we played a lot of mobile games in the car. We vibed together. And then I realized why I'm a gunkle and not a father because I got a 3-hour time limit. You know, like I'm really good with kids for 3 hours. And then I'm sort of like, you can have it back.
Mm-hmm.
This is yours now. Because number one, my vocabulary is that of historically of a sailor. And I can only not say fuck for 3 hours. And I still probably said fuck a few times. And I don't want to curse in front of the children. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be like, look at this fucking game. You want to be like, look at this cool game. But then they started showing me TikTok videos that children like. And it's just the worst shit of all time. And you're just watching and you're going, oh, yeah, kids are fucked. We have ruined them with whatever media there is to come in. And I've had this dream in my heart about like, oh, I want to make children's media one day. You know, I got to be in a Netflix cartoon. That's so sick. You know, kids coming up and recognizing the character, really rewarding. You know, I want to make shows for children. And it turns out the people making shows for children right now are like, yeah, no, the kids are fucked. It doesn't matter what you put out because it's all just garbage. It's all just garbage shit. So I don't know. I want to have pride in my work. Maybe I bring back, I want to be like if Mr. Rogers took mushrooms.
Yeah.
Did
he?
What?
Did he?
I don't know. I think he was, he was on the opiate of the masses. So the Christian God doesn't like when people take hallucinogens most of the time, because then you start to understand that God is more of a spirit that runs through every living thing. And it's less of a concept that you can meet with man-like, behavior, and more of something that has swirled around us and is objective and doesn't hold us down to any certain way of living life and isn't really concerned with any of our actions or behaviors and is more, a part of everything that exists in the wind and the sun. And God is the dog and God is our friend and God is every person you meet on the street. I don't want to get deep in it, but there's not a lot of real fundamental Christians doing mushrooms, to which I say, I don't think Mr. Rogers did mushrooms.
Yeah.
Jim Henson didn't do any acid, which surprised me.
Really?
Yeah, we looked it up after the Puppet Museum.
Oh, that's right.
And he said, he was maybe some people are born with it, just their brains are wired differently. But, creatively, I like to function outside of the norm. Whoa. Not anymore. I'm on probation. Okay. Just shut up. Back to what we were doing. We got to Brooklyn. Now, we could not get in the building right away. The Brooklyn Roulette, which is a very sick venue. It's like a miniature, I don't know, it's cool. It's got a balcony. People are surrounding you. So me and Sawyer Rec went out and went to a halal burger shop and got burgers and fries and just ate it up and had a good time in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's great. And then, of course, that night, we were match one. We kicked the show off. Me, Manders, Manser, Allie, SG Bussy, which, second gear Bussy is a funny name for a team. I was having, if you couldn't tell watching the video, I was having a real good time. It was a very fun time. There was lots of fellowship here. We sang songs, and I gave my great admission to Speedball Mike Bailey. Now, you know what I'm talking about, right? I told him, I said, I gotta come clean with you, Speedball, about our previous boxing lesson. And he was actually excited about it and said, let's do another boxing lesson. So in the basement of the Brooklyn Roulette, we continued our boxing lesson. And I think I've convinced Speedball. I know Veda was very excited to hear that Speedball was up for this vacation trip to Atlanta. But I think I've convinced Speedball to come to our house in Atlanta and go on a journey, at least to the zoo, if not on the podcast, and to continue our boxing lesson.
I mean, we have a GoPro. We can put batteries in the recorder. We can
go on the road.
We can go on the road. We can podcast with a giraffe.
Whoa. Some of the giraffes can talk to you.
Yeah.
I've felt it. I've felt it in my heart. And we have to go see the pandas
Before they
send
leave,
them back.
yeah.
They're getting rid of our pandas.
Yeah.
Shout out to China. I get it. But also, come on.
They need those pandas back.
For what? Are they going to do like in, what was it, Golden Compass? Where they put armor on the bears?
Yeah.
Do you think panda bears can wear armor?
Did we talk about the Ghibli with the balls, the raccoon balls?
Oh, we did.
Okay. So my buddy Johnny texted me and he said, well, they're tanukis, which have massive balls. And there's
tanukis are not raccoons? I thought that was just like the word for raccoon.
It's a different, excuse me, type of raccoon.
Is it like how a red panda is not a panda? And a tanuki looks like a...
Yeah, it's like another kind of like marsupial.
Okay.
But there's all these paintings of them using their balls as like...
weapons?
Functional accessories.
Okay. I'm into this.
Like, look, this tanuki is pulling his friends...
with his nutsack, that's a canoe.
And then they're using them as blankets?
This is the best art I've ever seen. That tanuki is using his nuts as a sleeping bag.
And other, like, fighting birds?
It looks like the birds are actually helping him use it as a fishing net almost.
Yeah.
Like they're spreading it out to catch fish with their nuts. I'm kind of blown away.
Yeah.
That this is such an accepted, tanuki nuts. Does that mean when Mario puts the tanuki costume on, he gets big nuts too?
Probably.
You think Princess Peach is like, let me see you in your tanuki suit? It's a me, Wario. I have a big nuts too, tanuki Wario. Right? Is that weird? I'm sorry. I don't I'm auditioning. For the new Wario role in Super Mario Brothers 2. I clearly didn't get Mario because fuck Chris Pratt.
Okay, do David Lynch's Looking for a New Wife.
Okay, all right. My wife left me because she doesn't like how much I do the weather reports every morning. And one thing about cinema, and she doesn't understand this, and she has left me alone, is it can come from your dreams. And if it is in your dreams, the cinema doesn't have to necessarily be a cohesive thought. Like in the film Blue Velvet, we use the song Blue Velvet because she's singing about blue velvet. Did you know Dean Stockwell wore makeup for his role when he was in the film Blue Velvet, unlike when he was in the film Paris, Texas? I don't know why my wife left me, but I will say I'm looking for a wife that's roughly the same age as the Eraserhead baby would be now. Because the age difference shouldn't be a matter if you're in love with the person. I'm young in spirit, but my wife, she was young, and she's moving on with her life now, and she will not be a part of any of my further musings. It's 61 degrees here in Los Angeles. You won't need a sweater today. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. How'd I do?
Great.
But did I get too into it?
No, well, maybe a little.
Okay. We're going to keep workshopping the David Lynch character I'm doing. I can't wait to mimic Adam Driver in Ferrari. We have a lot of cinema coming up soon, and I'm actually very excited, speaking of cinema, that we're going to a SAG screening tonight.
Yes.
You're my date to the SAG screening.
Yes.
We're going to see Iron Claw.
Yeah.
And this is my real problem with the movie Iron Claw. Okay, I haven't seen it yet, obviously. I have such a crush on Harris Dickinson, who is in this film as one of the Von Erich brothers. And he is also in the Murder at the End of the World that you're on now from the creators of the
Who
OA.
is he in that?
He's Fangs. He's Bill.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got a thing for him. Go watch Beach Rats. I'm sorry. This story I'm familiar with, the Von Erich story. It is absolutely the most depressing story of all time. And if I'm sitting in this theater going, and they're hot, I think it makes me look like a bad person. You know? Like if I'm like, God, Jeremy Allen White and Harris Dickinson are so hot in this movie about death.
I mean, hot people die too.
I wish they wouldn't. You think there's a separate section for hot people in heaven, or do you think we have to hang out with all the uglies? Sometimes I think heaven and hell are the same place because I don't know any of the songs and I don't want to hang out with you people. You got to learn the songs to go to heaven.
Beach rats?
Beach Rats. Yeah. It's a movie about a closeted young man living in, I believe, Jersey Shore area, and he hooks up with older men from Craigslist secretly, and then this guy sucks his dick at the beach, and he leaves him to die in the river.
What?
I don't know. It's pretty great, and he's very hot in it, you know? Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have thought he was hot in that movie, too. That's really destructive. What I'm finding out is, Harris Dickinson, could you start picking roles where I'm allowed to admit you're hot and not have to juxtapose, the hotness with you committing horrible acts or dying?
I mean, he is, spoiler for Murder at the End of the World, pretty dead from the get.
Well, yeah, that's true. Wait, have you gotten...
He is the murderer. At the end,
he is the murderer at the end of the world. Yeah, we're spoiling it a little bit. He could come back. I don't know. Jesus, 3 days, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Is he in the cave? No, I'm over here. Tell your friends I did it. That was him going back to heaven.
Just to lean further into the rumors around Jesus. You know what? They believe he achieved that enabled him to leave his body and come back and then appear to the disciples and everything.
Hands-free orgasm? I've known like at least 10 guys who can do that.
Weirdly, you're like barking up the right tree on that one.
Oh, okay. What is that?
His rainbow body. Jesus achieved his rainbow body, which is how he was able to...
This is a Buddhist principle, isn't it?
Yep. That's
and
what it's called.
They're saying he could have spent some time in the Far East. We didn't even ever talk about Silence on here, did we?
No.
I think you need to watch it.
I think so.
Because that movie is depressingly nihilistic. Shout out Andrew Garfield. I'll watch anything you do, Andrew Garfield, except for that fucking movie about the dude who wrote Rent, because I just don't give a fuck. Sorry your life was tragic and you never got to see your work come to life, but if I have to watch movies about people who wrote musicals, I'm out. I'm fucking out. I love musicals. I think it's going to be great to see Wonka. Timothy Chalamet made me do it.
Hugh Grant is just talking all this shit about how he hated every second of working on that film.
Because it's just him on a green screen being a little fucking... He didn't get to hang with the cast. He was just... he's an Oompa Loompa. And he took jobs from hardworking little people. That's what I'll say about Hugh Grant. Okay, and he probably has no regrets, and he's just complaining about getting work. Come on, dude, fucking loser. I think I'm still just stuck in his villainy from Paddington 2.
Yeah.
I think I'm just like, I can't look at him as a good person.
But that musical at the end is delightful.
Yeah, and also like I think that's probably what prison's like.
Yeah.
Probably that level of gay.
Yeah.
You know? It makes me think of The Life of Brian for some reason. I don't know.
Huh.
It's giving me vibes. I think we're just talking about Jesus and musicals and prison
Yeah.
and Brian was in his own prison, being a false prophet, sort of, but he didn't want to be. We're off topic, but
We're off
I love
topic.
it. I love it.
Are we done with the weekend?
Well, I was going to just talk about my favorite match of the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Because I was bringing up Speedball. Speedball versus Maki Ito was electric.
I saw the little clip of Maki getting like pushed, dropped over. It's delightful.
She's so
Very,
good.
so funny. Very Looney Tunes.
It's so Looney. And all of wrestling should be kind of Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Like let's be real, folks. People are like, I want to see real sport. It's like, go watch MMA, you fucking loser. We want to see drama and action and silliness and Three Stooges-esque falls,
Anvil's dropping.
Anvil's dropping and toe torture. I love watching Speedball get his toes tortured. I don't know if I should say that here. He's probably not going to want to come to the house now. Can I watch your toes get tortured by a young Japanese idol? That would be cool, right? Fantastic match. But the real controversy right now, back to Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona, with the assistance of Bob Cardona, his father, was able to defeat Jimmy Lloyd. Do you know what this means? Jimmy Lloyd now has to be Matt Cardona's broski. Matt Cardona is now in charge of the career and wrestling of Jimmy Lloyd.
What?
Jimmy Lloyd put a career versus broski match on the line. If Matt Cardona lost, he would have to quit GCW forever. But if Jimmy Lloyd lost, he has to become Matt Cardona's broski, which means he's getting a full broski makeover, and he is now managed and handled by Matt Cardona. That's right. Jimmy Lloyd, the different fucking boy, is now going to be under the handle and hand of Matt Cardona.
So he's going to be always Jimmy?
Always Jimmy fucking Lloyd, a different fucking broski. And he is also about to enter the NGI, the Nick Gage Invitational Deathmatch Tournament, as Matt Cardona's broski, which I imagine is going to be the most beautiful thing in the world. There's no way him doing a deathmatch tournament as a broski is not the most entertaining shit I've ever seen, but I am concerned about the mental health of Jimmy Lloyd as he becomes a broski.
He's going to go too deep.
He's going to go way too deep. And deep being maybe the wrong word, way too tan. If he goes even half the tan of Matt Cardona, he's going to be a little too Jersey. You know what I mean? But I'm very excited about seeing where it goes, seeing what happens. But yes, after Brooklyn, I hung out with our friends, Cole Radrick and Rev Scarlett,
Yay.
and Manders and Sawyer Wreck. And I got to spend time this weekend with Unagi Sayaka, who was in town from Japan, just being awesome as hell. And we had a big birthday celebration at the end of the show Sunday for MLJ, our ring announcer. It was his birthday. And Unagi Sayaka brought out her elephant plush backpack and was clapping the hands of the little elephant. And I was like, I'm fucking obsessed with you. You're just everything you do is so fashion and adorable and perfect. And also you're a badass. So shout out Unagi Sayaka. We want to see more of you everywhere. And shout out all the GCW roster members. It was a very pleasant locker room this weekend in both spots. I had a great time. I'm going to mess up your video by going pee, aren't I?
HBO and A24 just signed a deal for HBO to be the exclusive distributor of A24 past films and future films after they leave theaters.
So we're about to be loaded up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also I've got some digital screeners too of some previous A24 films.
Ooh.
Past lives I just saw come through.
I need to watch that one.
Yeah, so do I. So we're gonna watch it. We're gonna digitally screen it. You didn't see it from me though.
No.
Yeah, I don't care. We're going to do a big round of questions because we lost our questions that one week.
Yes.
Not your fault. It's actually from the ghosts. And the ghosts, you decorated beautifully in our home for this studio.
Thank you.
It looks so great. And the ghosts have already tried to take your pictures down.
Yeah.
So to the ghosts that live here, Are we supposed to acknowledge the ghosts?
We probably should.
We acknowledge you and we appreciate you letting us use this space and we thank you, but we ask that you not mess up our beautiful paintings that we have hung on the wall or our art, and please don't knock down any of my figurines. They're not toys, they're figures. That's what Cardona told me to say.
Lucy let out a cute little fart right as we said we should acknowledge the ghosts.
That's her ghost. What up, ghosty girl? You probably did get a bite of peach cobbler.
Okay, is it a universal thing that dogs don't know it's them that's farting? Or are they just
I think
too
they're
polite?
playing it up.
They're playing it up?
I think they're like,
Okay.
oh, who could that have been? But you really think she's surprised by it? I always think about like the concept of a dog pooping. Like they're just like,
You think every time they're like, whoa.
something's coming out. I don't know. And then they just like get in that position and you're like, I don't know if they know what's happening other than like, time to do this thing.
So do we need to do our own version of do they know it's Christmas and it's do they know they're pooping?
Do they even know they're pooping?
No one's going to listen to the podcast after this episode.
No, this is the best episode of the year, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we're hitting our stride. This episode features dog shits, David Lynch, Wario, Mormons, Scientology being an excuse to not talk to people. I mean, we're talking gold everywhere.
Okay, I want to go ahead and reveal my because we've talked about David Lynch so much on this episode, it is perfect to reveal what we're going to be watching next on the Patreon.
Oh, okay.
So while we are finishing up the Fast 9 and Fast 10, we will be doing a Bill Pullman series.
Oh.
3 Bill Pullman films, and the first one that we were watching is Lost Highway.
Okay.
You've never seen Lost Highway.
I've never seen Lost Highway. I'm ready. I'm excited. You know, Vin Diesel is the emotional core of the Fast and Furious films. All the action builds around his family. I'm done. I'm sorry. Okay, sick. Well, I'm excited. I appreciate you revealing it to me because I really thought you were going to put me on a darker path than...
There were many darker paths that we could have gone down.
I understand.
And then I just decided that I just wanted to watch Bill Pullman for 3 movies.
Let's go. And he's alive?
He came back.
Yeah,
It's my official stance.
That was our Mandela over here. We were both pretty certain. And I know Paxton, but I thought Paxton and Pullman, it's a thing. I don't care.
You know, it'd be crazy if I picked 2 Bill Pullman films and a Paxton film for the last one. That would be wild.
That'd be really weird. Wait, which one was in Contact with Jodie Foster? Paxton?
Paxton.
I love Contact.
Contact was a good one. I like the conspiracy theory that when alien movies shifted into the like, ooh, we're global citizens, like the aliens are nice and friendly, that it was just the U.S. government getting us prepared for aliens to come.
Yeah, and these UFOs got to stop following my planes around. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay. Let's do questions from this week, and then we'll do
Perfect.
Last week's questions. Favorite holiday songs?
Sir, I want to buy these shoes for my mom. She has a disease. You know Christmas Shoes?
No.
You don't know the song Christmas Shoes?
No.
Okay. Really? And it's about the boy, and he doesn't have enough money to buy his mom, who has cancer, shoes.
No.
And they decide to give him the Christmas shoes?
No.
Oh, that's a tearjerker. Yeah, Christmas Shoes is my pick. But also, Wham doing Last Christmas, total bomb.
Yeah.
Total bombshell.
Yeah.
I did listen to the Lady Gaga Christmas song last week. Not the ones with Tony Bennett, but the one about Set Me on Top of Your Christmas Tree. Horny as fuck, and it's incredible. Horny Christmas songs, I love. Like the Ariana Grande one. Santa, tell me if you're really here, and we can... I love it. It's so horny for Santa.
Yeah, but she dated Santa.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Was that post Pete Davidson?
No, before Pete Davidson.
Wow.
Yeah. Because that was the thing, is she said Pete Davidson has a bigger dick than Santa. Everyone
Unreal.
knows Santa's got a giant schlong.
I was tweeting about Santa being a homosexual and that he's in one of the most famous lavender marriages of all time, but I stand corrected. But you got to think, Mrs. Claus, she has elves at her bidding. She has unlimited cookies. She chills in her big mansion in the North Pole. Like, it's okay if Santa sucks a little dick.
Who's the best Santa?
Who's the best Santa?
Best Santa. Tim Allen.
You think?
Yeah.
Fuck Tim Allen. Fucking Republican
But
MAGA
as
piece
Santa?
of shit. I know, but like, come on. They shouldn't even let him be fucking Buzz Lightyear anymore.
Yeah.
What? Am I going too deep?
They just announced they're
I
coming
know.
back.
I know.
Did you know Rob Lowe was in the movie version of the Christmas Shoes?
They made a movie?
Yeah, 2002.
Holy shit. This is a rough time for Rob Lowe. It's a dark time for Rob Lowe. I think my favorite Santa is Billy Bob Thornton
Yeah.
as bad Santa
Yeah.
too.
He was the baddest of
Yeah.
all the Santas.
Yeah. You know, like what if they did a Sling Blade Santa, bad Santa crossover?
What if Santa but bad?
What if Santa but bad? But Sling Blade.
But Sling Blade.
I reckon I ought to give you some presents. Y'all got any milk for these cookies?
I watched.
Not jolly ha-ha, jolly queer. That's my Sling Blade. I'm working on a Sling Blade musical still that Billy Bob Thornton has not given me permission.
I think it needs to be Christmas oriented.
This year I reckon I ought to kill you.
Fuck! I just forgot everything.
You're talking about Christmas Shoes starring Rob Lowe?
Yeah.
You really haven't heard the song Christmas Shoes?
No.
You know, it's the worst song of all time,
Okay.
but I love it.
Okay.
Sir, I wanna buy these shoes 'cause my mom has cancer on Christmas.
The best Christmas song is the Bill Nye, not the science guy, the other Bill Nye, from Love Actually.
Oh, God. Were they filming a movie in Love Actually? Is that part of the plot of Love Actually?
I think so. There's a lot.
There's
of
a lot of plot. It's one of
Yeah.
those movies kind of like New Year's Day where there's a lot going on.
It's one of those movies that the first time, like when you watch it and you go, "Oh, great movie," you know, file it away, Christmas movie, excellent, awesome. You go back and watch it and you go, "How did anyone let this happen? This
Yeah,
is
there's some weird shit going on in
like
Love Actually.
it's a Christmas movie, but Alan Rickman's like cheating on his wife the whole time, and it's like not good.
Well, but you know, that's the spirit of Christmas. Forgiveness and giving gifts to babies that they don't understand.
But the Bill Nye being the former pop star who has to come in and re-record his hit as a Christmas song, incredible.
Darkness.
Incredible.
We'll probably put these songs up. Well, I mean, you can Google the songs.
Okay, we're doing Love Actually 3 times in a row now.
Whoa. Then I'm going to be on Alan Rickman's side. I don't want to get there. I don't want to understand his motivations.
He's so hot in that. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
But I mean, have you ever seen him as Snape? Alan Rickman in a dress? Like, come on, babe.
I watched like 2 of those.
I have darkness in my soul. I'm Alan Rickman. I was the bad man in Die Hard. I got to work on my Rickman. Bill Nye, wasn't he in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy 2 at the end?
Can you do a Bill Nye?
No, I don't. Because it's just going to end up like I'll start as Bill Nye and then I'll sound like Michael Caine.
Yeah.
You know, like it's going to start like a little Nye. It'll start. No, I can't even get into it.
He's so specific.
He's very specific.
So specific.
Didn't he play Davy Jones?
Yeah.
He did so good.
I can do the Davy Jones because you just have to make your voice like a little bit of an octopus man. Isn't that right, Josh Sparrow?
So I can do that, Bill Nye. Bill Nye with tentacles on his face.
There was a 2022 Diane Sawyer 20th anniversary making of the classic holiday movie Love Actually.
What? Someone was talking about Diane Sawyer the other day, and they were like, she speaks in a way where you assume she's intelligent, but she's never asked an intelligent question. Like she's got that like spirit about her where she's like, let's really get into the news here. I'm Diane Sawyer. How many farts fills a balloon? You're like, I don't think this is about anything, Diane Sawyer. She's not a Barbara Walters.
No.
It's Barbara Walters. I'm here with Elon Musk, and I've got the real questions for you, Elon. Elon, how much ketamine is too much? Well, Barbara, I gotta tell you. I'm gonna tell you right now. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, Barbara Walters. Okay? Do I need to repeat it slower? The Cybertruck it's a bulletproof Cybertruck. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, we're moving.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep doing weird impressions over here while we go through the questions.
Okay, with the Dragula season almost halfway over, who are your favorites so far? This might be my favorite season yet.
The season's fun. I understand why JK is kept around, but they're really giving JK a pass on some of these looks. They're not good.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that we've talked about, how low the drama kind of feels on this show in comparison to
They were basically like, if we send JK home, there's literally no drama.
Yeah.
Since the start, I've been a big Nihuru and Orgotic fan.
Same.
They really understand just the fucking filth disgustingness of it. But I'm not going to lie, Fantasia Gaga Royale has she's become a dark demon.
Yeah.
You know? I think everybody underestimated her, but there is something that's sort of I don't know how to politely put it. There's something that's like bimbo hot freak show that's sort of she doesn't even have to be that Halloween-y to still give the vibe of Dragula Extreme.
But because we were talking about how part of the criticism is that they were not originally
horror queens necessarily.
But I do feel the way that they have stepped into it, you can't, it's something you can't fake the funk on. And so there is a darkness that is starting to come through. Yeah.
And I think the Boulet brothers also like the concept of oh, well, that pisses you off? Well, good. You should feel disgusted. Mm-hmm. You should hate them because you don't think they belong. There's that little bit of oh, you don't think they belong here? Well, who belongs here at all? I don't know. I love the Boulet brothers. They don't get enough credit either for doing identical drag. Because it's one thing to do drag, and it's another to look identical to another person in drag.
Even their voices are on such a pitch perfect wavelength.
They have the way of speaking that's they play off each other so well.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to be getting white contacts so that people can't see me reading the cue cards here that you've written for me. If anybody thinks I actually am saying anything I've written or thought of on this show, little do they know, it's actually Petár. Their scripting's behind me. I'm just reading the lines. I'm a little fart licker. Wait, why did you? Oh.
The conspiracies about this show will continue until there's a fourth camera in the corner literally getting everything.
Until we get a live studio audience. They paid the studio audience to be there. I hope you know that. And the musical guests are lip syncing. It's just Bebop with a guitar. With little shades on like Joe Cool. All right, I'm fantasizing now.
For anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, there's a rumor going around that you are by yourself for all of these.
I'm alone for all of these, yes.
Someone commented on the TikTok, hey, isn't this the guy that just sets up the camera and it's...
This is my other favorite controversy I want to address. Someone, and this is one person, I shouldn't even be giving them the time. If you look at the Stitched TikToks of ours, you just go to Stitched Weekend at Effys, there are people who have their own opinions on things, right? And they're not always positive. But one person, it wasn't even a Stitch, they put out this big post that was okay, well, Ronda Rousey's not transphobic and she's not racist either. And the Sandy Hook thing was 10 years ago. And you're going, all right, well, listen, I don't care if it's 30 years ago. If you denied a school shooting that killed children,
yeah,
I don't think a decade removed is it's cool now, guys.
You bought an Alex Jones talking point.
Yeah, and he's completely bankrupt and isn't allowed to speak on such things.
The families came out and they're actually, we kind of feel bad for you. We're gonna settle this down. Yeah,
Lucy says. Never settle.
Never settle.
Never settle.
Never settle.
But yeah, 10 years removed, guess what? If I was dumb 10 years ago, I'm still probably the same dumb.
Yeah.
People don't get smarter. You get smarter until you're 20, and then it's just a decline of your brain until you die.
Yeah.
You think I can learn nowadays? Are you kidding me? Try to teach me arithmetic right now, okay? All I can do is count and do percentages for profit margins. That's it. I learned that one long ago, and it's the only one I've kept.
Okay. What is both of y'all's favorite off the radar holiday special?
Oh. Um. So I watched Scrooged the other day. I'd never seen Scrooged.
Really?
I'd never seen it. Loved it. But all it made me want to do the whole time.
It has one of my favorite Jesus jokes in it.
Which one?
It's the when he's in his office and it has the dictionary definition of cross because that's his last name.
Yeah.
And it says cross, something you hang somebody from.
That's good. It also has David Johansen from the New York Dolls as one of the ghosts.
Oh, really?
He has the weirdest face of all time.
That's
He's
so
the taxi
funny.
driver ghost.
Oh, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
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 Fantastic.
That is a face. That is a face.
And then also, I've never felt more called out than when he's doing the children's dog costume show. And he's like, this is my big shot. They need me. That's how I feel in wrestling all the time, where I'm like, you have to take my wrestling career seriously. And I feel like the man in the dog costume who's sweaty and going, it's a real job, okay? I can't just go to family events. I can't give up my booking for my fighting, okay? In my costume.
There's the original version of the script. Apparently, the executives were like, "You've got to be kidding me! Like, we cannot make this movie. Like, you have gone too far."
We tried to super glue the antlers to the mouse's head. We'll try staples. I felt very wrestling scene there too. But the whole time it just made me want to watch Muppets Christmas Carol,
Yeah,
which I hope that we will
yeah, that's
have
my
a holiday
favorite.
moment.
That's my
it's
favorite.
the best one.
Michael Caine.
I almost bought tickets the other day to see Jinx and De La's Christmas special at the Atlanta Symphony Hall.
Ooh,
They're a little expensive for me right now, but the Jinx Ben de la Creme Christmas special that they put out, the first one, is also very, very good. For drag queens, we often don't give them enough credit for the content that they make outside of just being a drag queen, but Jinx Monsoon and Ben de la Creme are comedic acting showgirl geniuses, and I want to go see their Christmas special. Maybe I should just look at tickets again.
yeah.
It might have been Tuesday. Damn it. Did I miss it? I bet I missed it. I'm going to look while you talk about Christmas.
I don't know. Mine might actually be the Christmas special from Scrooged.
Yeah? That they, with the nipples?
Yeah,
You can't show the nipples. I like that. And the running gag of the guy trying to get drunk and getting messed up after telling Mr. Cross that he can't show this commercial, it'll scare people. And then thinking about where media is today, and you're like, nothing scares any of us anymore. What?
Okay. Have you watched 30 Coins on HBO Max? I think you would enjoy how bananas it is.
What is this about?
Let me Google real quick. 30 Coins. All I know is it has a guy that looks like Paul Giamatti. That's not Paul. Oh, no, it is Paul Giamatti. Never mind.
Whoa.
I guess Paul Giamatti does look like Paul Giamatti.
I got a holdover's digital screener too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're in.
I want to see that.
We're in. I like how the Rolling Stones have announced dates for June of 2024. Like they're certain they're still going to be alive.
It's about a exorcist.
Ah, okay. I'm
Um,
in.
This sounds awesome. I will be checking this out.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I would like to hear more about this Book of Mormon looking Effy variant that dropped.
Well, I think we got a good fill of it.
Mhm.
But I will say there is something like being Effy is second nature to me. But being able to use my wrestling skills to become these other characters in these small moments I get to reminds me that, like, at the end of the day, I love playing pretend. And Effy is not pretend. Like, it's just me turned up. Like, me playing pretend is going to Kroger, going to FedEx to drop off packages. Effy is just me, just let loose. And so when I get to sort of go like, here's the rules of this character that you're getting to become, it's so much fun to me. So I hope to continue doing weird, fun wrestling characters. And now that the SAG strike is over, I am going to continue my audition videos. Do you want to hear my new audition? This is my audition to play the Queen of England. Ready? I need crumpets! Do you think I'm going to get it?
Do it again.
I need crumpets.
You know who you do sound like?
Who?
You sound like the robot queen from The Great Mouse Detective.
You're giving away that the queen was a robot. It was based on her. Okay. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know who's casting for that part, but I figure if I keep doing a lot of different parts,
Yeah.
someone came up to me and said, you did a cameo of the Billy Crystal speech from When Harry Met Sally, and I miss doing the movie cameos. So I'm hoping this will entice people to do more of them. I have them on a deep discount right now for Christmas. So if you want a cameo, now's the time. Give me a movie scene. I'll do it.
Can you do City Slickers 2, Legend of Curly's Gold?
That's a real film?
Yeah.
Okay, I can.
You never saw City Slickers 2?
I did not. I saw City Slickers and thought they couldn't make this one today. There's a lot of films like that where you're like, oh, okay, all right. But no, I did not see City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold. Does that also have Billy Crystal in it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you remember when he hosted the hosted the Oscars and did blackface?
I would like to not remember that, but also we have to honor when
It
our
was like
stars mess up.
10 years ago.
But also they made the film Soul Man, not with Billy Crystal, and that was just a whole movie of blackface.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I saw Soul Plane.
Yeah, that had actual black people in it. So I think that's allowed. Who was in it? Was it C. Thomas Howell? Is that who did Soul Man? Am I making up things?
Okay.
Yeah, C. Thomas Howell played Mark Watson, who pretends to be black on his application form, and when he's accepted, he alters his self. I'll just give you a picture
Ooh,
of
boy.
the Soul Man.
Ooh boy.
Yeah, media. Ooh,
How does The Rock pee?
how does The Rock pee?
He Dwayne's his Johnson.
Oh my God! I was gonna say sitting down, so this is. I'm glad it's a joke. Oh, I had a conversation about The Rock this weekend. Do you want to hear it? Am I giving away too much?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Cole Cabana said when he was on The Young Rock that The Rock would, when he comes on set, he's not allowed to leave the trailer because him being physically on set disrupts so much of the stuff getting done that it costs money to the studios. So he has to direct from inside a booth, inside his trailer, or else he won't be able to get anything done. And the set will basically come to a standstill if he's walking around on it.
This sounds productive.
I just want to say that The Rock, we're going to rip your face off because we know you're one of those robots. You're one of the presidential robots from Disney that they haven't put in place yet. It's on the floor now. Lucy threw your photo all the way down under your foot.
We're at that point in the podcast.
I love it. I'm having fun today.
Okay, so we have the other week's questions.
Oh, okay. All right. Rebuild it. Wait, were
Okay.
these questions that were asked before?
Yeah, we've gone through all of the questions.
Oh,
It's just that the audio didn't record.
okay.
Yeah.
This tells you how good my memory is. I'm in a dark spot, pal. I hope you're okay with pushing the wheelchair.
I would give an example of the things that you've forgotten recently, but there's like kind of a lot.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Shit. Okay, these are the questions for Allie. Let's not do those. Thank you to everyone's response for our Happy Birthday to Me episode.
Y'all didn't watch that movie, did you? Please don't.
Okay.
My little bye.
If you could adopt any animal from a cartoon or movie, what would it be? I don't even remember this question.
This is a great question. Air Bud, because then I would get all the endorsement deals for Air Bud.
You literally said the exact same thing last time.
Did I?
There's no way to prove it because it doesn't exist.
Oh my gosh!
But I'm pretty sure.
I told you I stick to my guns.
And y'all are just gonna have to believe me on this one.
The other
'cause
one in
the
my head
dogs
though
can't
is
talk.
Foghorn Leghorn. I would adopt Foghorn
I'm
Leghorn.
having the craziest deja vu
Yeah?
right now.
Did I say that too?
Well, there's no way to know.
There's no way to know.
I'm just gonna say you answered all of these exactly the same.
I'm probably going to answer all of them exactly the same. I can't. You wrote it on the script. I'm looking at the cards right now. You can't be surprised I'm saying what you wrote.
Mine would be Babar because, he's a king and kind of has his shit together.
And I want to see how an elephant puts on that little jacket. I know. How does he do it?
I know.
He doesn't even have thumbs. Although I saw a video today of an elephant sticking its trunk up and eating fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
So I imagine there's some trunk that's used in getting the clothes on. Babar's cool. Babar was like from India, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he was like an Indian prince.
We're going to Google this and find out that Babar was a colonizer, I'm sure.
Oh no, colonizer Babar is evil.
He was French.
Je te parle français.
History de Babar.
So he was a colonizer.
Yeah.
Fucking Babar, dude. Denounce your family. Denounce the hatred that they brought upon other cultures.
Here he is in S&M gear. I don't know.
There's no such thing as a European element. I mean, a European elephant element. I don't know words anymore. You spelled elephant wrong on the cue card.
Wait, the previous king died from eating a poisonous mushroom? This is deep Babar lore right here.
Who poisoned the mushroom?
Was it Babar?
Babar, you motherfucker. You're a murderer.
Okay. Hi, Effy. Great seeing you in Seattle this weekend.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we're throwing back.
So from Auntie Collins.
Oh, I love
You
her.
always make me feel special. What's your secret?
We discussed this last time, I think, about the Effy rules. Because Effy has rules.
Yeah.
Which, a lot of people are going like, Effy has rules? He's an outlaw. That's what I'm thinking in my head. But I do have rules. One of them is that I've never met a stranger. And I think that's been a wonderful rule. And I think I discussed last time how both of my grandparents were pastors. And I did steal a few like pastor tricks. And I always try to listen to people intently and with actual listening, not just to think of what to say back, but actually listening to them, which I think is good. I think this was like a real emotional high point at the end of that episode when I got into this question.
Yeah.
So I can't replicate that.
Yeah.
But also like Effie's never met a stranger. And the other rule that I remembered, there's like 4 rules and I can't remember 2 of them because they're like ingrained, I'm pretty sure. One of them is Effie's not a wrestler. Like in kayfabe, once I'm in the building, Effie is under no illusion that he is a professional wrestler. I'm just there as an entity that was brought in and placed in a space, and we'll see what happens. Are we going to fuck? Are we going to fight? I don't know. Let's find out. I'm in the space, but I'm not thinking about win-loss records and belts, but also Effie's never met a stranger. So if it feels like I'm greeting you as an old friend, that's intentional. But also, I've also known Auntie Collins for a long time, and they got to see me do my Jello match, where I put a man through a pool of Jello in Seattle one time. It's pretty lit. Pretty lit.
I can only remember 25 letters of the alphabet.
God, no.
I don't know why.
This one got me big time on the last time you asked this question. Because I was about to recite the letters of the alphabet to help you.
What is your favorite holiday-themed horror flick?
Horror?
Yeah, because we talked about Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Are you talking about
like
horror?
Horror.
Oh, I thought you... I was going to be like, I don't know, Jack My Lantern? Probably Jack My Lantern's my favorite Halloween horror flick. Yeah, I love that one.
Do you know about the Jack Frost with Clooney?
Yes.
Where they got all the way...
Wait, was it with Clooney?
Well, the snowman is
the
Clooney's
snowman looks
face,
like Clooney, and
then
they put
Clooney
Keaton in
dropped
there.
off the movie, and Keaton did it instead, but the snowman still looks like Clooney.
All snowmen actually look like George Clooney. Is George Clooney a good actor? The only movie where I've thought to myself George Clooney's a really good actor is that one where he's the weird PR guy who almost gets blown up in the car. Michael Clayton's
Michael Clayton's incredible.
I can't tell if like it's just an incredible movie he's a part of or if he's like the best actor. You know what I mean? Like it's a hard thing to figure out.
How do you feel about Solaris?
I don't remember seeing Solaris.
Okay.
I've seen Solaris. I don't remember watching it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I remember going to see that movie about what's the one where he goes to visit his dad in space? Add something,
The Descendants.
but it's not George Clooney. Oh, The Descendants is a great film, but I don't think it proves George Clooney's a good
Is
actor. I really enjoy The Descendants. That's an Alexander Payne, isn't
Yeah.
it? I really liked that movie, and I'm sorry. I'm not. I am apologizing. I liked it, but you should give Indigenous people their land back.
There was Sandra Bullock that was in space.
That was Gravity
That
with
was
George
Gravity.
Clooney, but I'm thinking of a Brad Pitt movie now. I moved over.
Oh, Ad Astra.
Yeah, I went to see Ad
the
Astra,
monkey?
and I was awake, and then this woman next to me ordered 2 plates of pasta and ate both of them at the AMC, and I fell asleep, and then the staff woke me up to leave. So if Solaris was anything like Ad Astra, I probably slept through it.
Ad Astra was beautiful. It was kind of boring though.
That's why I slept. I keep this movie pass to watch movies, but also if you've ever been on the road and you land somewhere early, that's an easy 2.5 hour nap that is in a dark space. And that's what happened when I went to see In the Heights. I was like, I'm going to sleep through this. And then I cried 3 times. And so fuck you, Lin-Manuel Miranda. You ruined my nap and I cried. Allie picked me up and she was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, In the Heights was so good. It was really touching. Everything worked out. It was just really good. So yeah, you got to be careful. Cinema affects me.
They're doing a reboot of Percy Jackson,
I know, I saw.
and my favorite thing has been all of the character photos, and it's just all these. It's like Lin-Manuel, like him just like in regular clothes.
Just like, here he is. He's a part of this fantasy movie. He's just a guy named Jerry. Yeah. Yeah.
Someone at work was trying to convince me, like, oh no, they're getting it right this time.
I don't know. I just want to say the first dude who played Percy Jackson, Logan Lerman, still a hunk. Just a fucking hunk. So now they've got real children in it. I don't want to watch. I'm not watching kids do anything. Fucking losers. Kids can't act.
The
The only good kid actress is the
Psycho
girl from
Gorman.
Psycho Gorman.
Yep.
She's the only kid actress I've ever genuinely been like, you're a great actress.
Favorite Scorsese.
Okay, see, I've been thinking about this a lot more lately. And the thing is, Scorsese has movies that are very Scorsese, and then he has movies that aren't. And I can't stop thinking about King of Comedy. Like, it's not, it doesn't even feel like a Scorsese to me during it. But there's something about just Rupert Pupkin being just a weird piece of shit. And obviously, seeing the new Joker film, there's a very King of Comedy vibe to the whole thing, which people discuss, but nobody does it like De Niro. But then De Niro shows up in Joker with Mark Maron as his assistant. I really like that movie. I really love The Departed. Like, I've probably seen that one more than anyone. But then I think Casino is still like, if I'm going to point at a Scorsese movie,
Yeah.
I'm going to point at Casino. It's the most Scorsese.
Yeah.
And I just love Old Vegas. Like, looking at Old Vegas gets me fired up.
Have you seen Infernal Affairs?
Infernal?
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's what Departed was based on.
Oh. Let's go.
It's real good.
Did we talk last time about my mom's going to Las Vegas and I had to like explain it to her because we were talking about Casino?
Yeah.
Good luck, Mom. She's like, I'm going to see Donny Osmond. And I was like, that's lit. That's fun. I'm nervous about the rest of Las Vegas
Right.
and you having to look at it. I think you're going to have so much fun at Donny Osmond. I think that you're going to be overwhelmed by where our society is at as you walk the Las Vegas Strip. Because not only is it still Las Vegas, now everyone's high on drugs. Legally.
My Scorsese was Hugo.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Sacha Baron Cohen, don't sit on his nose.
Did you know that Nathan Fielder was a writer for his last show, the America show?
Really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Nathan Fielder, the weirdest man in Hollywood. Bebop, do you have anything you'd like to say about Martin Scorsese? Do you want to say something about Martin Scorsese?
Okay, this is our last one. This is from Rob. And I do remember you had a great answer for this one the first time we did it.
Okay.
What the hell do I get my mom for Christmas? She's hard to shop for and never lets me know what she wants.
I'm really disappointed we lost all these question answers
I know.
because I must have been in a very heartfelt state when we were doing it because I think I gave some real touching answers. because I think I said that you just need to give your mom attention and love and go see your mom and give her yourself. But also, everyone is riveting over Leah Michelle's new hair curler. It's the hot item of the season. Everyone's mom is going to want to get the new Leah Michelle hair curler. Are you familiar with Leah Michelle from Funny Girl? Not originally, but she got that girl fired and got the part.
She's the one that doesn't know how to read.
I don't know. She looks like a fucking idiot with her buccal fat removal. All the buccal fat people, let me just tell you what you look like. I got my buccal fat removal. It's terrible. And Leah Michelle, I think you're a genuinely bad person. And so I'm not getting my mom the Leah Michelle hair curler. And what you did to that girl on Glee, bullying her almost to the point of death, you deserve nothing in this world, and everything will catch up to you. Karma's a relaxing thought, bitch. But you should get your mom, probably, I like to get my mom flowers. They are a fleeting concept. But I also like to send her like cute pictures. I was listening to Blank Check, and they were advertising the digital frame where you can just upload pictures and it'll be on your mom's digital frame. I always think that's a good idea. It's great for old people because they can't log onto Facebook, but I think it's good for moms too because it's like they'll get home one day and they're like, oh my gosh, there's new pictures on our frame. Like, oh, let's see what they're up to. I think that's really sweet. This year, my brother gave my mom the best present, which was he's the one having a baby, and she's not going to ask me about it anymore. Love you, Mom. Love you to death. But I don't want to ever be in charge of children. Look at this. This is my son. This is my son. His name's Bebop. He can't speak English, and he doesn't require new clothes for the school year, but I still get him new clothes. He's so sweet. Just give your mom love. Call your mom. Tell her you miss her. Tell her what's going on in your life. And then warn her if she's going to listen to your podcast, because she does. You know that? You know she listens to it all the time? It's great. It hasn't stopped me from saying ridiculous shit, that's for certain. But it's nice to know that she cares about what's going on in my life. We love moms. Was it Rob?
Yeah.
Rob, we love moms, and they love, you know, when they say the thought that counts, that's actually only true for moms.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's it. My mom wants to come visit us, and I think we should do it.
Yeah.
I think we should do it. She'll sleep on the couch. She's built. She loves it. Yeah, what a wonderful week. Thank you for participating with us. And if you want to hear the mini-sode where I talk about, I think I've seen 20 movies in the last 2 weeks. We've just been on a film roll. Weekendateffys.com. Get on the Patreon. You're going to get video early. You're going to get access to the mini-sodes. I got to finish this vlog up. I've been really lazy. I'm sorry, y'all. But there is a great vlog coming with some great views of this weekend, last weekend, and a lot of fun things like the weather update from Petár.
Yes.
That helps me understand when things are chaos. And also breaking pup dates. They are so much cuter around you. And I also think you're good at photography. So those two things together, so many good pup content moments on the Patreon as well. Plus, it just supports us. And look what we do with the Patreon money. We get upgrades. You get video now. We've got lighting. We're in it to win it.
We even have a little Charlie Brown tree.
Yeah, we got a Christmas tree up now. The littlest Christmas tree. One ornament. It's perfect. You know, it's just like Charlie Brown. Kind of bald and weird, but it's, you know, it stands for something. Like being a fucking coward, Charlie Brown. You better be happy Snoopy's around you, because Snoopy is the cool one, and you better be glad that cool dog stays around you. Is that rude?
I mean, Charlie Brown's kind of a little shit. Anyway.
He's a dingus.
Like young Charlie Brown, kind of an asshole.
Is there an older version?
There is a younger version of Charlie Brown where you understand why Lucy is, ripping that football away from him all the time.
He's like if Caillou sucked a little bit less. Fuck Caillou. Caillou's like if Charlie Brown wasn't aware. You know, they say some people don't have a voice inside of their head, like an internal monologue.
Yeah.
Caillou has no internal monologue. Fuck that piece of shit.